Starting this week, global tech giant Apple's mobile payment system, Apple Pay, is now available here in Korea. In a country where 2 out of 3 people use Samsung's Galaxy handsets, the convenience of Samsung Pay is one of the winning factors over the iPhone. But rolling out Apple Pay may change the dynamics of that market. Joining me now for further discussion is our economic correspondent, Shin Ha-young. Hi, Ha-young.
Well, thank you for having me, Jung-min.
Thanks for being here. So would you elaborate on the current status of Apple Pay here in Korea?
Well, Jung-min, Apple Pay has finally entered the Korean market almost a decade after it was first introduced globally. So iPhone owners can now use the mobile payments service without a physical card, just like Galaxy users. However, the payment can only be made at places that have near-field communication or NFC readers installed. So far, those places include convenience stores, large supermarkets, and some department stores. But it can't be used for public transportation yet. And even though other card companies could potentially introduce the service, currently only Hyundai card users can use Apple Pay. And one expert gave 2 reasons for that. Let's take a listen.
Unlike Samsung Pay, Apple Pay charges an additional 0.15% fee to a car company, which can be a burden for a firm. Secondly, there is an infrastructure issue. There aren't many NFC readers in South Korea yet, so car companies are expected to wait for more NFC readers to be distributed before making decisions.
Well, Ha-young, so it has been like 3 days since the launch of this Apple Pay here in the nation. How are consumers reacting to this?
Well, in terms of numbers, Apple Pay has achieved a remarkable performance in the country, with the service surpassing 1 million subscribers on the first day of its launch. And before we dig into the details, let's first listen to what consumers had to say.
I was considering switching to Samsung, but now that Apple Pay has been introduced, I'll probably keep using my iPhone, especially if the service expands to other cards.
I downloaded it on the first day, and now I'm trying the service out. It's great that I don't need to carry the physical card around.
I'm willing to change my phone, but I read an article saying that there aren't many stores that accept Apple Pay yet. If things get settled, I might switch to iPhone.
As to what people said, again, the lack of NFC readers in South Korea and the limits regarding linking credit cards are issues that need to be tackled. And in fact, according to a survey conducted by a consumer research institute, Consumer Insight, over 75% of the respondents said they are willing to use Apple Pay. But among them, more than half said they will wait until the service is expanded to other credit card providers.
And also, I heard Samsung came up with its own strategy in response to Apple's entry into the market.
You're right, Jung-min. Well, just today, Samsung Electronics kicked off a collaboration service with Samsung Pay and Naver Pay, which is a major partnership between 2 leaders in online and offline payments. That means users of Samsung Pay can make payments using Naver Pay and vice versa for a more enhanced online and offline payments experience. And currently, Samsung Pay is also in a process of interlinking its service with that of another tech giant, Kakao Pay. And if you take a look at this graph, the mobile payment market is growing rapidly. And according to the Bank of Korea, during the first half of last year, the daily average spent using mobile payment services was about 723 billion Korean won, or roughly $560 million US. And that's 2.5 times more than the first half of 2019. And in this rising market, Samsung Pay, Naver Pay, and Kakao Pay have been trying to expand their market share. And recent cooperation with other companies is part of those efforts. Let's take a listen.
Kakao and Naver's payment methods are more focused on online payments rather than in-store. Now that demand for in-store transactions is rebounding due to the lifting of pandemic restrictions, they might feel threatened by Apple Pay. But I don't think those partnerships will have a big impact on Apple Pay, as the winner will be determined by the convenience of Samsung Pay and Apple Pay themselves.
Meanwhile, other pundits say that although Galaxy dominates the domestic smartphone market, the market share of Samsung Pay for mobile payments is only 24%, hinting that Apple Pay may only become a threat in the South Korean market if there was a significant increase in the number of iPhone users.
All right, Ha-young, thanks for the report.
Thank you.